But, you know, like I said, I think we you know, Mandy's had magazines for 10 years. We've had a lot of repeat business that stayed and supported us. But we also fight for extra sales all the time. It's that we weren't getting, really.
I was probably a little naughty in that I said to, for example, to one hairdresser, okay, you're not open, but get rid of that one, sorry. That you're not open, but you might like to put a message to all your customers wishing them well.
Yeah.
She agreed to that, so I then ran around all the other hairdressers and said, guess what such and such is doing? So they all did the same. So I have one magazine which was virtually all messages of greetings to customers.
Yeah, that's it. It's just thinking about outside the box, isn't it? And then, like we did with our mail shots, we had a few quirky things that we did that we would never normally do. We never normally do offers. We always stick to rate card. All sorts of things have changed for us over the last 12 months. You know, but we've learned some good things from it as well. And we have picked up new customers, all like yourselves. We've carried on printing. We only had 1 month that we didn't print. But selfishly, we wanted to just swap our bi-monthly issues as well. So that fitted in with our plan to change some distribution and print dates. But yeah, we got there.
We did.
Well done.
We did. We did get there. It was a relief. And in fact, it was that tiring that Sue's had a day off this week, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a bit like that by the end of it, because it was, you know, to be trying to still sell 3 or 4 grand's worth of advertising, you know, and then people pulling at the same time was pretty tough 2 weeks. But everybody was waiting for the announcement. There was just it was just that timing. You know, there's nothing we could do. We had to wait, and businesses had to wait and see. And we just kept hanging in there, thinking just a little bit longer, and then they'll either know it's a definite no or a yes. But what we didn't want to do is have the deadline too early, and then it definitely be a no because they didn't know what was happening. So I think we made the right decision, but it was nervy. It was a nervy copy deadline, and like I said, for me, probably the toughest since this all began, because the dates fell a little kinder to us when everything was locked down. We'd already gone to print right before they locked down, you know, and then things were looking to open up. Then we'd already gone to print when Wales did their next lockdown. So, you know, we'd been lucky, man, hadn't we?
We have really been lucky.
I think, Susie, Mandy, I think you've done really well considering, you know, we're still down on our targets. And from what Richard just said, every time I have Richard on, you know, I see him on here, he's always so encouraging. He's always got the positivity about how to turn the business around, like the hairdresser example, which I love, because most of us are just not built that way. And we all like, you know, drown our sorrows, if you like, whereas he seems to have that. I don't know, every time, I've only met him 2 or 3 times online, but every time he's said that, it's always made me think, oh, why didn't I do that? You know, sort of thing. So well done, Richard and Susie and Mandy. I think that was excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
That's the only thing that I think has kept us going the whole way through, and we've kept reminding ourselves, haven't we, man, the whole way. Positive, this is just a stage, everyone's going through it, we've just got to keep going and keep going. We can't give up, because and we know that obviously the situation for us could have been a lot worse if we hadn't have just kept positive, not just for ourselves, for our advertisers as well. You know, we've had a lot of difficult conversations with people that are possibly going to go out of business. You know, we're luckily not in that situation, but a lot of our customers are, and that's tough when you're chasing the money from people as well, and you know, it's difficult. But yeah, I'm glad this one's over.
Well done anyhow.
Yeah, I am exactly the same. And I think people like I've had to do, but we've had customers for years, I've had to have conversations with them and say, come on, you need to carry on supporting us. And I've never had to do that before. And, you know, we're going to get through this, you know, we'll come out the other end, you know, come on, you need to support us through this difficult time.
Some of those businesses are, yes, and some of those that Mandy talked to, they've got businesses that are actually thriving at the moment, some of them.
Yeah. The trick was with my tiling shop, wasn't it, Suze?
Yeah, but he went back in on the fact that he could have a free ad if he wasn't open. And then they announced that he would be open by the end of April. So
yeah.
Good.
Yes, yes, all looks good. Has anybody else got anything to add on how they've had with their copy deadlines? Good. Right. So, and there's one other thing I wanted to chat about, and that is, has anybody had any success? We deferred our VAT last year, and I believe there's a little window now that you can do the deferred VAT, you can pay over certain instalments. And I tried to ring them last week to try and sort it out because I can't do it on my online account. And I just wondered if anybody has spoken to them, because I couldn't get through to them in the end about it.
Mandy,
Yes.
Mandy, Andrea here. I tried to do it online and it came back with a bizarre message, but my accountants are actually ringing HMRC tomorrow to talk about it, because I've always submitted my returns up to date bar that one, and it came back with a message straight away saying I wasn't up to date or something.
Yeah,
bizarre.
me the same, yeah.
Yeah. So I spoke to my accountants this morning, and they've had the same for other clients. So they're actually going to, they have a different number in theory. They claim that they think they can get hold of them on. So they're going to look into it tomorrow and then let me know. So if you want, I can just tell you what they say with mine, because I always paid it, apart from I part paid the one you could defer. So I've still got some of that outstanding and was going to take advantage of paying it over the 11 months.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because my account is exactly the same. We're up to date bar the one, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sue? And then, and then when you go and try and do it on the website, it says you can't do it because you've got an outstanding. You're not up to date.
Exactly what it said to me. So
is it that you can't do it because if your accountant manages it, because
it could be to do with safety being the agent, man.
No, it does tell you that you're not allowed to go through the agent to take advantage of it, that you have to do it independently. So it does actually clearly have a message by the side of it when you try to click on the link. It says that your accountant can't do this on your behalf, you have to do it yourself.
Well, they want to make it as difficult as possible, don't they?
But I was just wondering if anybody had any success or even getting through to them, because I couldn't get through. I sat on the phone, I gave up in the end because it was just ringing. And I gave up in the end, and I just wondered if anybody else has had any success. But Andrea, can you let me know how you get on with it?
Of course I will, because they're going to try and do it tomorrow. But they've got numerous clients that have all had exactly the same message that I've had, which obviously you've had as well. So. Yeah. And we were definitely up to date bar that one return. So I don't know, it's obviously a glitch in their system.
Yeah, okay, fine, brilliant. Okay, great, all right. Great, was there anything else anybody wanted to raise or discuss before we start doing some auto-publishing? No? Brilliant, okay. Right, so we're going to start doing auto-publish, and I'm going to hand you over to, well, Danny and I are going to do it between us, aren't we?
Yes.
So we're going to we're going to start sharing our screen. Are you ready on this one?
Yeah.
Can I do this right here?
Yeah, you can.
Right. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Fine. Okay. Right. Do you want to start?
Yes.
I'm just going to mute.
Yeah, of course. Right. First thing first, with checking over your flat plan with auto-publish, I would, bear me a second, because I haven't been logged in for a while. Bear with me, find our test account. I just moved. Right. This test account here, what we're going to do first of all for auto-publish is just do a preview, just so then we can compare what we've got at the moment with what needs amending. That was a quick job. Well, so if you go on to auto-publish, you can pick on what pages that you want to create and look at preview with trim, but we want to look at the whole thing, so we want to click directly onto preview with trim. It takes a little while. The little ninja's got to do his work.
So what we're doing here is we've created a flat plan, a test flat plan, which you can just see in the background here. And we've put all the pages on the right pages where we want them to. And now what Danny's doing is creating the print ready, a PDF with the trim marks in. Because what we need to do, first of all, is make sure that we have got, it's the easiest way. You can go into each page and check it, but we've worked it out. This is the fastest way to check to see if your flat plan is correct. And it's by creating this PDF, this one PDF that shows all the problems on it, and then we go back into the flat plan and we start fixing it. Yeah. But what we thought we ought to say before we started really is what are the benefits of doing AutoPublish? So why bother doing AutoPublish? Why bother doing all this? I think the most important thing for us, and it's about saving money. And I know you don't have to pay a graphic designer now to spend time setting every single advert on every single page.
Yeah.
So you've got the recent one?
No, I'll grab one for you.
So where you were in the past, you'd get somebody to spend time and money making sure every single advert is in the right position. You don't need to do that. It also kind of brings back control. If you are using graphic designers, if you are using Mag Manager, you've got all your artwork in one place in Mag Manager. And if your salesperson needs a particular advert, then they can, you've got it at your fingertips by doing it this way. And hopefully it stops you running the wrong piece of artwork. But you're not spending time, you can see my magazine here, you're not spending time getting somebody to line up all these single adverts here and in a 6-block kind of thing. Yeah, and that's a big one. You can also then create your print ready PDF, and we'll show that at the end. You can create your flipbook for free because we offer that service for free, so you don't have to create that yourself. So there are lots of really good reasons why you should use it AutoPublish, and the biggest thing also is save yourself time.
Yeah, and you can also create to send straight to your printer.
Yeah, yes, you can. You can create a print ready PDF to send directly to your printer. Yeah. Great. So shall we now look at we've got the PDF.
Yeah.
And now we've got.
Can I ask why don't the crop marks match?
Because it's that page is wrong.
Oh.
So what we created, Jan, is we haven't done anything. We haven't auto-published anything at all. All we've done is created, without having to go into auto-publish, we've created what the magazine would look like before we've gone in there and fixed and looked at all the problems. Okay. All anyone's done, all Susie ever does is just upload. She sells and uploads the artwork.
Yeah.
And what we do then, we're just making sure it's okay. So we're going to now auto-publish and fix these problems.
Did you hear me?
Well,
Did you hear me? Dave.
So look straight directly at our flat plan. So we'll show artwork. So on page 1, straight away, being a front cover, we've got crop marks. So it's out of the green border marks where the printer would cut. So you can see crop marks, you can see a footer there, which is obviously a massive no-no for your front cover. So if we go into, click directly onto the page number itself. So you can see straight away show footer, we want that straight off. Save that. And also if we click directly onto the center of the artwork, we want to turn the crop marks on. As speed.
Yeah. And
then save. Now, if we go straight back onto page layout and click straight onto number and do a preview with trim, we can see the amendments have been made. So you see straight away footer's gone, see crop marks are out of guidelines there for you, and we've put bleed on as well.
So as you can see, Jan, we kind of fixed this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go back now, and what we generally do then, when we've done that and we've fixed it, we also put on layout complete. And the reason we do that is, and save that, and the reason we do that is that when we know we've already done that page, so that somebody behind us, because often somebody will say, well, I'll start at the back, you start at the front. And then before, when we didn't have that little complete, we never knew, oh, I've done page 15. Well, I've done page 15. So we never knew, oh, I can't remember what page I'm at. But by doing that kind of gold line around it, we know actually, I know somebody's gone in there and checked that for me.
Yeah.
And also by doing that, which is really important, what that does say is when you create your print ready, when you create your PDF to go on your website,
Yeah, digital flip
your
book.
digital one, it will only pick up the pages that we've got incomplete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another way to do it is obviously by using little tick and cross. That's a quick way if you wanted to just mark them as complete as well. That was a feature request we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a feature request somebody didn't want to go into, which is fair enough. Somebody didn't want to go into every single one of them. So now a quick way, Danny's quite right. There's a little, on the left-hand side, you'll see next to this one where Danny is. You see that cross, you can switch it on and off. Oh. Hang on. Yeah, and switch it back off then. Yeah, right, so we'll do that, page 2.
And then go on to page 2.
Mandy, are we okay to just ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Ask questions as you go along, and then, yeah, fine.
Okay, I've just got, I can't remember because I've had to come onto my laptop, my home laptop to do this, so I can't see the screen for work. But I don't always get the crop marks option. I think, is it only for full page?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because we have, I mean, we get quite a lot of artwork through with all, you know, the crop marks and all gubbins around the side and everything. And we have to go and resize, you know, crop them and remove them.
But Mag Manager, you'll see as we go along, Mag Manager can do some really clever things with cropping half-page adverts or quarter-page or any size.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
What, for example, we often get, which is really annoying, is that we'll get a half-page advert, and someone will be in their wisdom will have created a white border around the edge of it.
Yes.
So in fact, what we've got then is an advert that's the wrong size, because it's nothing. It's not a border. It's a white border. So the advert then is that size border too small. And with Mag Manager, we can actually take that off in here. So you don't have to go back to your design and say, can you just resize this, take off the border? We can do that here.
Yeah.
Brill.
Right, so if we go back to page 2 in enemy landscapes.
Then this one here, we've got footer on, and this one you can have auto bleed the page off. So then you get rid of all the white spacing around.
So, but I should also mention this pop-up box here. What happens is we have already, so we've done, and we'll talk about this in phase 2. But we've switch that back on. So what we've done in phase, what we'll do this in phase 2. This kind of setup here, we've already done, haven't we?
Yes.
So we are here, if you go up to the top, Danny, so we're using a layout grid called 16, and that is all in system settings. So we're using a 16 grid on this, yeah? And we've set that up. And if you want to do auto-publish, you've never done auto-publishing before, the help desk can help you with that, can't we?
Yeah, we can set that up for you.
If you click around the way, so we'll just perhaps briefly go over what this page is showing us here. So we're using a 16 grid. We've also, below that, we've got an override. Sometimes you might, for example, have a bit of content that you've got a full page, yeah, and then you need to put an advert over the top of it, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's our delivery gown. Right. So and so you can override it. So you can pop in a half-page advert. So you might have a banner of the advert, but you might want to overlay that and have a full page. Because say, for example, I've got my Monovoice magazine here. I might want to sell a banner at the very bottom here. So I want to make sure that I've got my banner book in, but when I upload here, over here, this will be the artwork plus the banner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's when you would use this override here. And then going further down here, you see we've got top margin, 10 mils. If I show a copy of the magazine, 10 mils. So we've already set these 10 mil top, bottom, inside, outside. And then we've worked out all the horizontal and vertical spacing. But again, we will help you sort those out. And this is all this is picked up is on the template that Mag Manager's set up. Yeah. Auto bleed, by often it's switched off, I think, by default. Yeah, it's off by default. Aspect ratio tolerance, I will explain that. We've got an advert further down that's got a problem, and that'll be very clear. Now you've got a left master and a right master, and then what you can have, we've got an index for our and that what a left master and a right master is a template page.
It's like a background.
Yeah, so you might have a magazine, I don't know if we've got an example here, that has a little colour in the right hand, a little flash of colour code or something in the right hand corner, and you might have certain backgrounds that you want to use. If you do that, you can use Mag Manager Auto Publish, because what we'll do, we'll get the adverts and we'll set it behind, on top of this master page. Yeah, so you can have a left master, you can have right master, you can have multiple master pages, can't you? You can have as many as you need. You might have different ones. Then show footer is switched on. Can we put somebody on mute? Yeah, okay. So then we've got show footer, yeah, and then we've got the font sizes, and they are mono voice ones. They're standard. Again, you would have yours, and then at the bottom here, you can have a left text or right text. Now, again, you could use your template. So you might say on the left-hand side template, I'll say advertise with mono voice. Please mention us to our advertisers. And I might have something different on the right-hand text. For example, contact Susie, and this is a telephone number if you want to advertise with us. But what you can do here on the actual page, you can overwrite the template. So you might want to say, I want to have something just specific on this page. Then this is where you would do the overwrite on the left and the right hand side page. Just go there. And then color, we've got our color, if we've got our custom color, which is our mono voice color, and that just happens to be our color. So you can have whatever color you meant. And at the bottom then, we've got the layout complete. And again, Danny showed you that. That's just a little flag then that tells us, puts our gold background image around to say it's been done. So
Can I ask you about the font? You're saying the colour is for the font?
Yes.
And the font, this is, how do you use that in Publisher?
And so the font is I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
If you see my magazine, you can see that font, and that's the colour. So that's page number 49, and it's green, and that's the font we're using.
Oh, it's just for the page numbers?
Yes, it's just for the page numbers. Yeah. Right, we're going to just check this in enemy landscapes and see if it's all right. So what have we done to it?
So footer off.
Yeah.
Auto bleed. And then preview with trim.
Yeah, and then preview with trim. So now we can see. Now, we've bled that off the page. Did we normally do that?
Yeah.
So there's our gardener. Enemy 64. Yeah, so this is the actual advert here in one of our magazines. So we've bled it off the page. It is very close to the bottom. You need to be aware of that. So if you look at that bottom green line here, you'll see that it's very close to the edge. But I think it has printed okay. Yeah, and it's got no page number on it. So I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Isn't that green line just your own border on the template?
No, the green line is where the printer's going to cut it.
Yes, I know, but it's not. When you said it's close to that green border, what did you mean?
So if I go back to the print,
you mean the bleed?
Yeah, to see where it's got, see the green line on this page, yeah, that bottom one. I'm saying that text, that
the text, yeah, sorry.
Quite close to the border, yeah. So we're now going to look at page 3 now, and we can see straight away we've got problems here. We've got crop marks. We've got potentially we could bleed this off the page. And if we bleed, got footer. And we've got a footer. And rules for auto-publishing in my book is bleed it if you can. Yeah. By default, have a go. See if my teams don't seem to think this, but we do. If you can, bleed it off the page. So it's always worth going into the Mag Manager, going to AutoPublish, auto bleed. Just do a quick preview on that. Yeah. Can I take the footer off it? Yeah. And preview return. Then we'll have a little look at it, check to see if it's all right.
Quick question, Mandy. If you hadn't taken the footer off, would it have printed on top of that artwork?
It will, it will. So we've got a couple of problems here. So we've bled it off the page, and we've taken the footer off, but we've got a problem. And the problem is we've still got the crop marks on here. So we need to remove those crop marks. So to do that, close that.
Do you want us to show you what it looked like with the footer on? Just.
Yeah, let's put the footer on.
Right, save that. We'll just take the crop marks off. Save that.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you. This.
You haven't got the footer on there. Oh yeah, and we can't see because of colour aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a good example. We'll show you with a different colour, but there's a page number on there, so you would need to be careful with that one because the page colour is very similar. So we're going to switch the show footer off
and then
save that. We'll show you another one. Can you mark those two then, Danny? Right, page 4. And you can see the process really. We're just simply going through it, making sure that it's going to look right for us. Yeah. We'll quickly look at page 4. Again, we've got a problem here. We've got crop marks. Do we want a page number on our welcome page? I think, yeah, we do. So we'll keep the number on there. So the only issue we've got with this is that we've got crop marks on it, and we just need to remove those crop marks. So quite simple. Go in there, and then we'll go on to the actual advert. So we're going on to the actual advert now. Checking the crop marks off it, yeah. Save it, and then we'll quickly do a preview. Hang on, missed the bleed. Save that, quickly do a preview, and then we'll be happy with it.
Mandy, what does it do? You've got a crop mark and a bleed toggle. What's the difference between doing only one or the other compared with both?
If you so this one is bled, so we've bled this one, yeah, and it means it's bled it off the page to the size we want, and also it is taken the crop. Let's show you then. So let's see if the difference. So if we go back to that, Danny, can we just no, close that, go onto the onto here, yeah, and let's just put crop mark only on it and has bleed off. Yeah. Preview trim. I don't think it'll make much difference, but let's see. No, it hasn't. I don't think it's made any difference on the example of this one, that's the way it's been set up. We need to do one where an advert, yeah, this is a content learning, and I think you'll see the difference on an advert. We'll show you one as we go along on the advert. Can I also say, if we just go back to the flat plan, can we mark this one as done, layout complete, yeah, and save that. What we should do, if I click on page 5 now, just click on the advert. So this is the content, it's not an advert, this is content. What is also important on here is that you'll notice it says in index, yeah. So what Mag Manager is also doing is it's going to create your index for you. So you don't have to bother creating or spending hours creating an index anymore. Mag Manager is going to create that automatically. But there are some times you don't want people in the index. And this is what this little switch here is. If you can switch it on and off, so this was in, I would actually have that off, yeah, because it's content page, and then save that, and then that won't be included in our index.
With this being a double page spread, how do you match them up? Do you make sure it goes to the same, you know, when you're getting crop marks out and all that, does it match itself up to the other side?
Yeah, it does. And I'll show you actually, leave it, Jim. Just double check it to say this is fine. Yeah, we're fine with that. Okay. So we're going to mark that as complete and save. So Jan, if you look at page, if we go down to page 16 and 17, yeah. Now that is a
yeah.
double page advert, effectively, yeah. And with these ones, if you click on the advert, when it's a double page, you always have to do crop marks and has bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll match. So do this one, crop marks and has bleed. Yeah. Save. And do page 17 again. Crop marks and has bleed. So it's copied that across. If we just quickly look at the issue that we created, and we're going down to page 16 and 17, I think.
It'd be the same as these two.
Yeah, it's the same as those two. But if we go down here, right, so this is the advert. Can you see how it's come across? It looks completely wrong because it's got crop marks, it's all over the place, yeah?
Yeah.
So if we go back to Mag Manager now, we're just going to click on the page number 16. And because it's an advert, I don't want a footer on it, yeah? And I'm going to save that. Save that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to do the same with on page 16, and I'm going to take, sorry,
I mean 17. Yeah.
17, sorry. Show footer off, save that. And then if I just do a preview on those, then, Danny, let's have a quick look. Preview with trim, then you will see that those crop marks have gone, and that's how it looks, Jan.
Yeah.
And these, I don't know if you can see, this is my magazine. So this has been created by AutoPublish, and this is a double page spread that they've created for us. This is an example, with this one it's fine because it hasn't gone across the middle, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's these ones that have to match up. That's the...
Hang on, let me find one that's matched up. Okay, so let's look at, I don't know whether that's a good example either. That's Pengethley Garden Centre. And again, that has matched up, but again, it has got a bit of a gap here.
Well, have you got the same on your intro page?
Yeah, let me just have a look.
You had that going across the centre,
Okay.
didn't you?
So I've got a foster care home one.
Yeah, it's kind of easier when it's just one colour.
Let me just show you. Right, okay, so this is our contents.
Is that the one with a dog in?
Yeah, it is.
Let's see if I can can I make you any bigger? Let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, I see.
So it does the matching across. So we go back to here, and that would be a double page spread. And we will do exactly the same thing when we do the next set. Now, if we just go to page 6 now, we've got 2 half pages. Yeah.
Andy, can I quickly ask? So, with this double page, you've probably already set it up as a double page, or is it not?
Sorry, we couldn't hear that very well. What was your question? Say that again.
I guess you've already told Mag Manager that it's a double page already.
Yes, yeah, it's booked in as a double page.
So when you're doing the dog one and you show this in the magazine that it was matched up, is there any way to check on the screen that it's matched up, or we just have to trust that it is?
I didn't hear that very well.
We didn't hear that very well. Sorry.
Sorry. I think
that's better.
with it is there any way to check that it's matched up on the screen to actually see that it's matched up, or do we just have to trust that it is matched up?
Is there any way of being able to see it on the screen to see it matches up?
Yeah, like a preview.
Oh, right, like a double page spread preview.
Yeah.
Can on your digital flip book.
Yeah, you can on the flip book. You'll be able to see it. So we'll show you the flip book, and you'll be able to see it then.
You can also do a 2-page view in Adobe if you want to sort through it.
Can we change this to preview with 2 pages?
Yeah, that should do it.
Yeah, let's have a little look. See if we can. No,
Sorry, it's gone.
No, here. What's the top right hand corner there? Below it. 2-page view. That's it. Okay, right. Let's go back.
This one hasn't been fixed.
The one with the long intro with the dog.
Yeah, we've got to create it again on AutoPublish once we've corrected it, and then you'll be able to see it with the 2.
Bearing in mind this is a non-fixed version. Yeah, so we're using this. So if you view, so the answer to the question is yes. You just need to view it as a 2-page instead of a 1-page.
So, like, if you scroll up to the dog, this would be to see whether the eyes were matched, or
if you scroll up to the top, yeah.
This one isn't a fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, see that dog up there on the welcome page, and there's a half of the dog on the other down there.
Yeah, and that's because of the way that it's showed us on the screen, the 2 pages where
it's because you're not having the front page as a separate page. That's what they give you the option in Adobe, isn't it?
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Okay.
When you do view it.
It's just the way we're viewing it, Jane.
Oh, all right. So you can just view it in Adobe and you can see that it's
yes.
Lovely. Thank you.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Great. So now let's look at page 6. Shut this down. So we go back to page 6. Here. Yeah,
So
page 6 then. That's page 6 now.
So that one there is disappearing. So that one would suit to have a border.
Yeah, so we're making a kind of decision here on this one. So page 6, business for sale, and then below that we've got a half-page Slimming World advert. Now the problem we see with this half-page Slimming World advert is that it probably could do with a little border around it. Yeah. So what we'll go into this one. We'll go into the actual advert itself, and we'll make a decision of putting a border on it. And we'll choose a colour, so we can match a colour. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we can then decide. So we'll go on that, and then we can also decide on the size of it, can't we?
Yeah, the width
of it. And we might think, well, actually, we only want a tiny little border, so maybe it's smaller. Yeah, and save that. And then we'll quickly do a preview with trim.
Mandy, having done that, does that change that actual customer artwork if it's in future issues to have a border around it?
You can switch the border on and off.
Yeah, you can switch the border on and off. Let's have a look. See, so that's got a very, very faint border on it. And in fact, I probably might make a bigger, thicker border on it. And the reason being, if you go back to that, Danny. Could you see that it had a slight, yeah, put a little thicker border on it. So when we save that advert now, so preview with trim. Right, so that's got a better border on it. Yeah, fine. Okay, so and I want the page number on there. But if I go and answer the question, so we go back to here, close that. If I look at this, if I click the advert, and then we look at, leave that, no. So if we go to a view a booking, okay. So the advert we're looking at is that one, April, yeah. So you don't need to open it. So what we'll do then is we create another
month.
Yeah, we got another month in there.
Yeah, May.
May, great. Okay, so we'll use this advert in May. Drag that down. Save booking. So if I go back to that client, was it Slimming World?
Yeah.
Claire's Healthy Living, it is, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's our test data, so bear with us. Okay, so and if I look at this May advert, that one, and I click on May here, then if I then click on it, it is,
It then doesn't display the border, it's just the original artwork.
yeah, it is the original artwork, yeah. Okay. Okay, so if I go back to, can I just take over?
Yeah.
Close here, because that kind of doesn't. So if I look at this on the flat plan, so is this the flat plan we're using?
April.
That one, yeah?
Yeah.
So if I look at this one, okay. So if I look at this advert, so this is my next issue, yeah? So Claire's Healthy Living, she's booked in April and May. If I'm then going to start flat plan and I put on page 3, I can quickly check on the advert. This is the same advert and it has got the border and the width on it.
Yeah.
Yeah? So that answers your question, yes?
Exactly, thanks.
Thanks, Nikki. Okay, great. Okay, good. And we'll just do our shortcut to the flat plan. And here we are. We'll go back to here. And I'm happy with that. And mark it as complete. And I'm going to save it. Now, I'm on now page 17. Now, the only thing is with this, if I'm doing auto, when I'm flat planning, I hate this. This status of this advert has to be artwork approved. Yeah. Everything is green to go in my book. Anything's put pink, a customer needs to do something with it, or a designer needs to do something. We've approved that artwork. Now we've got blank page on page 7. So we need to add something to that. Yeah. So what we are going to do is, Dana, we can add some articles. So this is our brand new first run through. So if I go full page, I've got a couple of ways. I've got a spare space. I want some articles to fill it. Right, I'm going to go to Mag Manager Content and fill that article. I can do it a number of ways. I can drag, add content across, yeah, and go and search for some artwork, yeah. If I go back to home page, and I'll go to the this one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I go back to here, so I could have done that by dragging a full page across. Or another thing what I might want to do is I'm going to go and have a look at the articles I've got. Might think about what I've got sitting around it. I've got some health things, adverts here. I've got a health thing and I've got a business for sale. So I'm going to go to articles, and this gives me all the potential articles that I can look for. So I want a full page, and maybe I want, I can choose a style. So if we do contemporary, yeah, and then I might want to do a health one, yeah. And then I can choose one of these articles depending on which one I like. Or I have a quick look at them. Let's have a look at this one. What's this one about? Drink and be merry. Fine, I can have a little look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is go back to my flat plan, and I'll show you how I drag across a brand new article. So this is new. You wouldn't have seen this. So I'm going to drag, add content onto the flat plan. Yeah. And these are all my potential ones. I want something on health. Right. I'm working on my April issue. So I've got something on Sleep Easy. And I've got 3 different designs here. I've got a contemporary design. I've got a designer's choice that looks quite nice. Or I've got a traditional. I'm going to choose the contemporary design. But hang on, I need to read and accept my licensing agreement. So I'm going to click on that, read that, make sure I'm happy with that, select, and go back to here. Right, let's go back to my
Well, if
health.
you're not happy with it.
Nobody else will be.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wanted the April one, didn't I? Is a full page. Which one did I say? Contemporary. Right, I'm going to go and have, this is the one I'm going to have.
So I missed that. Where did you find those documents from?
Okay, so we have got, if I go to home page, and I've got, if I go to my flat plan, yeah, and then I've got a full page, add content, yeah, and then I'm going to choose the one I want, yeah.
Okay, thank you. But can you download those so you can do it in InDesign as well?
Yes. Yeah. So if I could actually download my own, because for example, these are all very nice. I like the designer's choice. I like the contemporary, and I like the traditional. But however, I have got an in-house style. If you've got in-house style, then I can then download from here. I can download a zip file here, yeah, and then I can download the images and the text and set it in my house style.
Are those free, or do you have to pay for them?
This is a Mag Manager content subscription.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So I'm going to place on the flat plan, yeah, and save.
How much is the subscription?
For one magazine, it's £33 a month.
So 2?
61.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Mandy, when you place it onto the flat plan, how does it work for linking in the index? You know, like normally when you have your content, you want it to be referenced. Does it automatically put it in? Does it just take the title? Okay, you've answered that.
Yeah. So I've got my Sleep Easy title here. Yeah.
So it pre-picks it off the article that you've already named, and then if you didn't want it, you could just switch the index off there.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm going to I'm just going to preview with trim. Check it's okay. And what I was going to do, and my rule is auto bleed it, see if it works.
Sorry, Mandy, can I just ask you one more question about that?
Yeah, sure.
With your own content, if ahead of your deadline, you've had a look through your articles that obviously you subscribe to, and you think, I'm going to use 3 or 4 of them, and you know, like the page numbers increase when you're selling adverts, if I've done a customer editorial, it would get included in that. If you're putting it, do you have to have put it onto the flat plan first? How do you make it increase? So if you've got a 48 page, you know you've already taken some of that space up on the home screen that you see on Mag Manager, or does it not include it?
What does it include, that page?
You had it as a blank page, but now you've put your own filler article on. Will it automatically change the size of your magazine on the front screen, so you knew that page 7 wasn't available anymore?
Well, it will. It will tell you that's listing it. So if I go to my dashboard, if I just go down, if you just go back to the dashboard here. And it's gone in as on Village Voice, April 2021. You'll see it's other content.
Okay, but you have to have populated it onto the flat plan first. If you weren't sure which page you were going to use it, could you have allocated the content to the sidebar?
Yes, you can. So if I still went back to here and say I wanted a, if I refresh the screen. So this, if I went and pulled this off to here and I haven't got it on page 7, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I then go to my home page again, it will still say I've still only got, one other content.
Okay.
Regardless of whether it's on the flat plan or not.
Thank you.
Mandy, can I just ask a question, please? I've not had any information about this, the articles. I know Angela has. Am I right in understanding then that if we have in-house articles, which we have read about 6 pages in the last issue,
yeah.
From what I've just picked up there, and I could have it completely wrong, we can set a house style with that, can we? And just drop the pictures in and drop the text in and it formats it. Is that right?
So what you can do, no, so Danny, if I just check, Danny's desperate. So if I went back to here, right, I've got a blank page on page 18, yeah? So I'm going to do add content here. And I'm going to go and find, I noticed that it was next to a gardening advert, so I might do a gardening. Yeah.
So how does that content get into that format there? Is it do you supply those articles?
Yeah, we supply them. So we've got a team of graphic designers, and they are still
all right, okay.
And they have created all the styles. So I might say, for example, I want to pick the contemporary garden one here, this one, yeah? I want to use this advert, this article. I could download the zip file, which I would just download, yeah? Yeah, and that will download onto my PC, yeah, which you can see in the corner here. And in its zip file, you'll get the content, which is the actual raw text, and you'll get the 2 images, yeah?
Yeah, I think you might be in the wrong meeting.
Yeah. New find a window, yeah? Yeah, I would just. What do you want me to do? Click on here. Yeah. Sorry, it's not me. Okay, so we're opening this, and it's gardening assets. Yeah, if I click on here, it'll give you my Word documents. It'll give me the 250 version, 440 version, or a 600 version. So it will give me a full, a page and a half version, a full page version, or a half page version. Yeah, and then also it'll give me these images, these images. Yeah. Can you do a quick look at images? Are you able to do that, Niels? So if I just open up one of them, for example, yeah, and that will give me the images that's come across as well. So I might use this if I wanted it to set it in a house style.
Okay, I was thinking that we could perhaps put our own content in there, but what you're saying is it's content supplied by you, yeah?
Ah, right, yeah. So to use your own content that you have just somebody has given you.
Well, what we usually do is we might get something like, I don't know, the Environment Agency that sends us details in a Word document, a couple of pictures, and our designer puts it together, and we just put it in like a normal advert, like you would any other advert, only we put it in as content, obviously. I was thinking it would be quite useful to create those and be able to pick them off, you know, and hold them there, and perhaps repeat them in the future or whatever, you know, in an easy way. But I've got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, you have, and that is a fair point. So what I would do in that instance, I would create a dummy customer called something like community content, yeah, and get those created on the flat plan as content, and maybe in previous issues or future issues, yeah.
We just do them as repeats, to be fair, Andy. We just have them as, you know, the Environment Agency is a client as such, and we just set them up and put content on and use them and just do them as repeats.
And then you can reuse them in the future as long as you've got them on the client and they're booked in as a client. You can reuse them whenever you want. Yeah.
You can archive them as well, and then archive them if you want to use them for future bookings.
Yeah. So
yeah.
This is the article I'm going to use on here. I'm just going to place that on the flat plan and save. And again, that will go onto my refresh my screen. That's gone onto page 18, and Andrea, it's picked up common sense, yeah? Okay. Approved. We'll save that. And then we're going to auto-publish it. And then by default, what I would probably do is auto-bleed it. I want to keep the footer on there. Preview with trim. Happy with that. That looks good to me. Yeah? Yeah. And then I'll just mark that as layout complete. Okay?
But in order to see the preview without the trim, so it's like the final preview.
So if I move here, preview with just a preview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without crop marks or anything. You know, the final page as you would see it in the magazine. Without borders.
Without, so this is without the green.
Yeah, I mean without the bit the crop marks is indicating. You know, like the final page, how it would look.
How it would exactly look. So yeah. That
is there an option?
There is, yeah, there is. Isn't it the when it creates the other one? Jan, we'll go on and I'll show you.
Yeah.
We'll show you that as we go along. Fine. Okay. Should we do some of these other ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right side windows. You happy with that one?
Yeah, sure.
Mandy, can I ask you, are there two indexes?
Are there? Sorry.
Are there two indexes? Because in your advert index,
Like a directory and a contents, do you mean?
Yes.
Do you mean something like a contents page here? Yeah.
Yeah.
And also an index at the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all we automatically create is this one. But you
okay.
can choose, if you wanted to, Jane, you can also choose to have your contents on here. We have some clients who don't use a contents page at all. And all they do is create an index page, a directory page, and they include contents on here. And you can do that, both of that. So you could do an index page and also include content on here.
No, we do like a proper like content.
No, it's strange. I don't do it, but some people do.
Yeah.
But this actual one we don't create, only because so many people have got so many different styles.
Yeah.
I might do in the future if we get enough people asking for it. Okay. So where are we? Bright side windows?
Yeah, double page.
Is that it's done?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. And then oven clean.
That one there.
Yeah. So let's look at oven clean then. Page
that
10.
just needs a footer and auto bleed.
So if we look at oven clean, preview trim. And we know we've got a footer on this, and if in doubt, auto bleed it. So auto bleed it. Because it's an advert, we generally don't run the footers.
Looks good.
Yeah, they're happy with that. They're complete.
Save.
Right. And then we'll go to page 11.
Yeah. So we'll just do preview trim. Again. Auto bleed. Love that dog. So cute.
Yeah, I do as well.
Always auto bleeding. Are you always taking your page numbers off? So if somebody's trying to look for their advert, so they're not going to see. I know you don't want a page number if they definitely want to bleed on their advert, but for the ones that don't look like they necessarily need the auto bleed, aren't you then losing it to when you flip through your magazine, you can't have a clue who's on what page?
Andrea, so what we're doing, so if this is a copy of our latest version here, I don't know if you see, so these kind of adverts, we're definitely going to take the page numbers off.
Yeah, the ones.
So if I find something that, for example, this size of advert, I've kept the number in, it's just going through it and working out what can. So if it's bleeding off the page, for example, this kind of horrible advert here, then there's no way that we want a page number sat on the top. You might think different. You might think, actually, I do want a page number, but we don't.
No, I was just thinking with the ones with the white background or something, otherwise you end up with lots of sections of your magazine that if you're trying to use the index at the back, you can't easily find where that part of the magazine is unless you physically flip from front to back.
Yeah, let me just find, oh, okay, look at this one, for example, Mayhill, right? This is a dental advert. Can you see this one?
Yeah. Sort of, yeah, I've got you on little screens.
Yeah, but we've got a dental advert here. This is bled off the pages advert. We haven't got a page number on there. And I tell you why we haven't got a page number on there. They would go nuts if they had a page number on their advert. Some people just do not, and I know particularly with them, they just do not want to see a page number on top of their advert. So it's just entirely up to you, really. If you know people who find they prefer to have a page number because then it's easy to search for them, then that's fine.
Yeah, there's a page number on the page opposite, isn't there?
Yeah, and the page opposite is their article, their advertorial they run across against this advert, and we've got a page number on there. Okay. Right, let's go back to our flat plan. Where are we?
We are on page 12.
Hi, Jenny. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Can we, somebody's talking on the phone, can somebody put themselves on mute?
Yeah, I've got them planned in.
Elizabeth.
It's just I'm a bit Harry Stackers, so you don't need them till. Oh, it's no problem at all.
Elizabeth. Can you go on mute?
You can mute them, Mandy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find them. It's because we've got actually we're sharing our screen.
She's done it. She's done it.
Okay, it's just because we're sharing our screen. It's a little bit more difficult for us to do it. Oh, it's an interesting one. This is an interesting one. Can you see this one?
Mm.
All right, so we've got a 1/4-page advert on the top that looks the wrong size to me. And then we've got a 1/2-page advert at the bottom, and we haven't even got a footer on this page. So Danny, want to fix that?
So the one on the left-hand side looks slightly smaller than the one on the right.
I'm so sorry about that.
It's all right, don't worry.
So if we click directly onto the center of this artwork, can you see that it's got the white border, which is making it look smaller than
so
the
this
other
is a
advert?
perfect example of where we've got. So with somebody, clever designers decided to create an advert, a 1/4 page, and then put a white border around the edge of it. Okay, so
I think what happens, because I get this, is someone's given you a PDF and you want to trim it down to the border that it's got, and you can never quite get close to it without getting rid of part of the border. So there's always a white edge to it.
Okay, so Mag Manager will fix that for you.
Good.
Okay, so the way you fix it is you auto crop it. Yeah.
Now it's removed that white border for you.
Yeah.
Save that.
Preview with trim. Now it will do that with full page as well, won't it, Danny? Yes.
I was just about to ask that actually, because I've got a 1/4-page advertiser who always supplies their A5 1/4-page advert as a little thing in the top of an A4 white page. Would that work for this?
Those are the ones that I meant that you have to then try and crop down, and you can only get it so far with Adobe.
I don't think it will do that. I don't think it will. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it'll do that. I don't think it will. So effectively, you've got a full page, and this is white, and this is white, and you've just got this in the corner.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah. No, I don't think it will do that. I think it'll only auto crop in that instance where you've got a tiny border.
Yeah. Yeah. That something like that you'd have to go to your designer.
Yeah, you would. I think you would. I'd have to have a play about that. I may get an example of that and can play with it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of fixed this page with this example. It's lined it all up perfectly, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, okay, make a note of that. I'm going to layout complete save. Yeah, and I'm going to mark that as artwork approved. Save. Not this one's artwork approved. Okay, approved. Save. Fine. Okay, so we're up to okay, come on.
Mandy,
Yes.
I'm a real beginner. I've never even uploaded anything to AutoPublish yet. If I had artwork that was just slightly not quite the right size, does it automatically make it the right size? If it's just like a few mil out or something?
It will only do it for a 10% ratio. So it will default, Mag Manager will automatically default to 10% if your advert is 10% out of that size. If it's any more, you can work it to...
And we've got an example. We've got a perfect example of this in a minute. But yes, it will. So what happens, Danny's quite right. We've got a default of 10% ratio. We're going to prove that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Let's approve that page.
If you could auto-bleed it, but it would cut off the text. So I would leave this one as it is.
Yeah, we're going to leave that as it is. We're going to so we'll save that.
Do you want to go to that one?
Yeah, let's show it. So where we're going to flip now, and we're going to page to page 21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to go to page 21, and this is a weird one. Do you know, it's been hard doing this because we've got graphic designers. They fix everything.
Yeah.
Where have we got any broken artwork?
And now you know why you pay them.
Yeah. That's not that one then, is it? Which one is it? We close that one. Have we fixed it?
No. It is.
This one, page 19. Preview trim. Right, this is the funny one. Yes, this is it. So we've got a couple of warnings on this. We've got a warning at the top, and it says contains at least one RGB color space. And the reason why we've got that is that we've got some people who print. People print with thousands of different printers. Our printers, Stevens and George, do not care. If we've got a bit of RGB, they're just going to fix it, and when they print it, it's fine. We've got other people who use printers who will not accept any artwork that's got any RGB color space in it.
Yes, it's always worth double checking that with your printer.
So this is why we've got an error on the top here, to just tell you that. Then we've got another problem with this page, and the page we were talking about before. This eighth of the page advert has the aspect ratio of this artwork is incorrect for the chosen size. This will result in the artwork looking stretched or squashed. This artwork is out by 30% on height. If you'd like to run the artwork anyway, please change the aspect ratio tolerance on this page to be larger. So Danny's going to do that and show you what it does. So
this is it here. So this is a default set to 10%, but you can set, you need to set it slightly above what Mag Manager is informing you.
31%.
Then you do preview with trim.
So now it's fixed that eighth of the page, but
it's personal choice whether you'd want to send that back to your graphic designer because it'd look,
or send it back to the client.
Yeah,
either, and tell them to fix it, or
you'd run it
as it is. Personally, I don't think I'd run it, but it's entirely up to you. I'd probably say to my designer, go and fix that and resize that without, because you see the design, supply and install is all a little bit squashed, isn't it? But what you can see that is Mag Manager will fix it, AutoPublish will fix it if you need. Maybe if it was a lower aspect ratio, it would have looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More importantly, his logo is out of proportion now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Compared to how it should look. So.
It's absolutely weird. Yeah. So like I said, personally, I wouldn't fix it in this instance, but depending on what the advert is, perhaps it might look better. But in this instance, I wouldn't run it.
Yeah. Normally 10% is the best to go off.
Yeah.
Any more.
So we're going.
So if someone gives you an A5 advert, so it's the right proportions for a quarter page, would it not understand that you want that done as a quarter page if you'd allocated a quarter page for it?
So with auto crop, the way it works is, sorry again, John, say that one. I'm not sure if I was going to give you the right answer then. So can you answer that?
Okay, if it's an A4 size advert, an A5 size advert, for example, but they want it as a quarter page ad, which normally, say, if it comes into InDesign, I can just reduce its size. If you upload it, will I have to do that already in InDesign and save it at that size, or will it do it automatically and understand it has to put that proportionally into a quarter page space?
Yeah, it will. So it is clever enough, as long as it's the right shape.
Yeah, so the proportions.
Yeah, so the proportions. So if it's a quarter page and you want to run it as a full page or anything, or it's a full page and you want to run it a quarter page, it will do that.
Yeah.
And again, if it was an eighth page,
yeah,
it can run as a half.
Yeah.
So as long as it's the right shape,
yeah,
vertical or landscape, then it's fine. Yes, to that question.
Good.
Andy, with the RGB warning,
yeah,
does it tell you what advert the RGB is in?
Yes, it was. It was telling me it was the same problem with that advert.
Oh,
that,
okay.
the one we had a problem with. Yeah. Okay.
And did you just override that? Because you did the proportions, but what did you do about the RGB?
So if I go back into that now, into that page, and do preview trim. Preview trim. So yeah, so I just overridden that.
Yeah,
by
just because
fixing. Yeah. But like I said, our printers aren't fussy. It's other, you know, some people do have difficult printers. So if we go to page 20.
Preview with trim.
So it can't fix the RGB. You've got to send it back and tell them to.
Sorry, Jane?
It can't actually fix the RGB.
No, it can't. It can't actually fix the RGB. You need to go and get that fixed, that bit of artwork. But like I said, it isn't a problem for us because our printers accept it. But if you have got a printer who doesn't accept it, then you need to fix it. I'm happy with this.
My printer just makes me save it in a different way to make sure that.
Oh, hang on a sec. Okay.
One of those is bigger.
Yeah, so I'm happy with it. Because I'm sitting at an angle because I'm sitting next to Danny. Yeah, there's a problem with that. If you go back to that. Okay, so if we got that, there's a problem with this. Can you see that the BWC advert and the Gemwave advert do not line up? So we've got a problem with that. We need to go and fix it. And I'm guessing it's this advert. So this is quarter page advert is wrong. And again, the same problem here. We've got a white spacing around the edge of the advert when it's been created. So we're going to auto crop it. Yep. And save it. And then we'll just run that again. Preview with trim. And done. Yeah, so now that's all lined it up. Yeah, and we're just going to approve that. So, and then we're just going to quickly look at page 21. Close and down some of these.
Yeah. Right. And this one here, that one looks fine. We've got a little border around it that we've already created. So we'll just do that one as layout complete. Brilliant. We'll just quickly put these things on. We'll just complete these two, just then we can move on to our index. So that one there, that one's a white advert. Compared, if the client's happy with that, you could keep the footer on there, but it would be up to the individual client.
Andrea, see this one?
Yeah.
See, I've got a choice here whether you want to keep the footer on it.
See, I probably would, unless, but you know, obviously, I guess some people.
Yeah, maybe. Have we tried to bleed it? We'll try and bleed it.
Can I ask you a question about this footer? Can it be more than just the number? Because on my magazines currently, I've got a little slogan at the bottom and the number next to it. Yeah. And it's different on the right-hand page to the left-hand page. I also have it as a header, a different one. And obviously, if I've got an advert that has a bleed, then I'll take that out or cover it up or whatever. But can you make that page number more than just a number? Can you make it a sentence?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So that is where I could put footers, you know, a little slogan or whatever.
Yes, you could put it
or
here.
Just I have my phone number and email address on each page, on the right-hand page at the bottom, and on the left-hand page I have please tell the advertisers you saw them in the siren scene sort of thing. And at the top I've got, I can't remember what, local.
That's where you set those master pages up, isn't it, that you said about?
You set master pages and they would pull, you pull through your master page here, or you can set it on every single page if you wanted to. And then on the left and right hand, it would show here what you've set.
Yeah, brilliant.
Is you could personalize it. So say on this page, I wanted Danielle, so I'll just pop this in here. Preview with trim. Give me a second. Can you see
yeah.
Showing there.
And can you center those if you want to have it centrally or?
Yeah, so where it says position, you can change it from
I see, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
And then pop that on.
And I can do that on the master sheet. I won't go into that just now, but presumably.
You can have it set on the master sheet itself, or you've got the option of, so say you uploaded like a completed page,
yeah,
which had all the text on there, you had your header on there, or you've got the choice of where you've got your page layout on your, on your 16th grid, because that's what we use, you can have your left hand and your right hand text, and that would show up on every single one of your pages on your publication.
Right, and then you can just choose for it not to be on the bleeds and the front page and the back page sort of thing.
Yeah, where you got your preview with trim, you could take them off.
Yeah.
Can you have like a colour block along the bottom with white text on, or is it just no colour blocking?
Sorry, Jane?
Can you have along the footer a colour block?
Yes, you can. So what you would do then is maybe you would have a template that has a white a colour block on every page.
Yeah, so you have a master page for you.
Yeah.
You know that last one you've just done?
Yeah.
You tried putting auto bleed on, and it made it too big, didn't it? Is there a halfway ground between, you know, so you can get rid of some of the white without putting bleed on?
So this is it here. So that's what it looked like when we tried to put bleed on it.
You couldn't have done that, it would have cropped it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So there isn't like a way of working around. That would be something that you'd have to, if you wanted some of the white area removed, you'd have to send that back.
Yeah, so
you'd have
to get your designers to change it if you wanted it changed. That's just design, isn't it, really? Yeah. Yeah.
Right, okay.
But you could put a border around it.
Yeah, you could put a border. Let's put a border around it.
You can't put a border around a full page.
All right.
It's just on the half ones.
All right.
Get too carried away here.
You could put a back colour on, couldn't you?
Yes, yeah.
You could put a page over the top that's transparent.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you could. And you could do the override as well. Right, let's do preview with trim.
Okay. And again, we've got a warning here. Can you see it contains at least one RGB colour spaced? Yeah.
And this one here, I pop a border on because the text is getting a little bit lost in the background.
Yeah. So which your farm foods is the one we need to sort out. Border colour. Yeah.
That looks a bit harsh.
Yeah, it does.
That's better. Width 2. Normally stick with a width of 2. Can't.
Brilliant. Great. Okay, fine.
I'm going to have to go now, so I'll wave goodbye. I've got another appointment.
Okay, all right, great. Thanks, Rachel. Bye.
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 Let's just okay. Yeah. So do that one.
We'll just tick these
Yeah,
ones
we'll tick
now.
those. Right, we just auto-publish the rest of the pages in the farm print at the bottom. And then we're also going to do, so we're just going to do a final page 22, put a bit of content in there, Danny. And then what we'll do then is just show you how to do.
Is this a real magazine or is just a dummy one you've done for us?
This is a dummy one.
This just
okay.
Right, so this is a good example. We've got Easy American Pancakes that we were just going to pick, but this content has already been used in a competitor's magazine and we can't use that one.
No.
So let's choose another one.
Oh, what's it highlighting there? So it knows.
Yeah. So
you've set it so it knows.
So we tried to choose Easy American Pancakes as one of the recipes.
Mm.
And if we go back to that, do you want to go back to that pancake one?
Yeah.
So it was this one, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't need it. So we will just do.
when it says a competitor, you mean someone near where your magazine goes out, or?
Yeah, so
what?
what it is when you go onto, so when you go onto your
Hi Annie, can I just take a message? We're just
publication settings, you have to click on defaults, you have to pop in a postcode. So anywhere other magazines that have got the same code as yourselves, they won't be able to use
Annie, I'll get somebody to give you
that article after you.
All right, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Even if it's a different month?
Yes, doesn't matter on the month.
If it's the same article, same style, they won't be able to use it.
Mandy, what's to stop, you know, like you could download articles onto your computer. If some people decide they want to download a few because they're unsure on what they're going to use, would that block it for other people even if they don't then use it?
You can't download, you can only download content, the artwork. You can't download
the zip file.
Yeah.
No, but I meant if you download the zip file to create it into your format, would it automatically know when you then put it on the flat plan? If somebody's not auto-publishing, obviously, would it give you the message? You know, some people don't use auto-publisher but might pay for your content. So is it going to cause an issue then or not?
If they set it in their style and changed it, so for example, you choose one of those.
Yeah.
One, yeah. Place it on the flat plan. We know that that's used on your flat plan, yeah?
Yeah.
If I then dragged it off to the side, drag that off. If I drag that off to the side and I put something else in there, another bit of content, yeah, on that page 22, which wasn't that, but I've still got that 5 Fabs reads out in April on the left-hand side, yeah? And you wanted to use that, you could. Because as far as we're concerned, you're not using that article. All you've done is just bagged it and popped it on the side of your flat plan.
And then if you change your mind and decide to use it, it will say you can't.
Yes. Yeah, you've got to be careful.
Right.
What stops somebody like auto-populating 5 or 6 articles ready, and then you've paid your £33 and you can't actually get any articles?
There's nothing left.
It won't let you. It won't let you do it, Jane.
It won't.
Yeah.
There's a limit. Is there a limit then? How many?
Yeah, there's a limit on it. Yeah, we thought about that.
I thought you might.
We thought about that, and we thought, what happens if you go in there and just think, all right, I'm going to have all those 10, all those styles, and I'll have everything. When I let you do it, it'll stop.
What happens if you always run a gardening article, and then when you come to do one, somebody else has bagged that garden article before you?
Well, the issue you've got, Jane, is that you've got 3 options. So you've got a designer's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've got for your postcode, you've got 3 options. So you might say to me, like, I want to use a contemporary, I want to use the traditional, or I want to use a designer's choice. Your problem is if you always use a contemporary style on that gardening article and somebody else is using it in your postcode area, then that's the problem. And if you've got that problem, then come to see us.
So yeah? You could probably run the same article, but not in the same look.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, if you'd use the article to try and sell an advert, that's the only thing, is sometimes you might send a copy of the article because you are going to try and get a particular advertiser you might not have been able to get before. You show them the article, they say, yes, we want to do it. But then when it comes to you physically populating your flat plan just before you go to print, you then suddenly find you can't use it and you've sold space because of it. Because that's how I was going to try and make the articles work for me as well.
So then I would say, right, for example, I'm on my flat plan, I've got my 32-page flat plan. On page 13 and on page 17, I'm going to go and put a gardening article in there, and I'm going to put a health and beauty article in there. Pop those onto your flat plan, yeah, on page 13 and 17. Then I'm going to go off and try and sell advertising around those pages. Gardening people, whatever, landscaping, whatever, and beauty, I might go and speak to my beautician or whatever, or aesthetics people. And then that stops your problem then. And then if you decide then that actually I can't get anybody to advertise around gardening, or I can't advertise anybody around the beauty one, take those off the flat plan or pull them to the side, then somebody else can use them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think a full say GL7 postcode, that's my area, is a very large area to blank out to everybody? Maybe it should have the first number of the next part.
So if you go, if we go to system settings.
Well, if it was GL7 and then they put like 2, you know, like GL7, I'm in 6HH, for example, you could put GL7 and then 2, the beginning of the next section. And rather than block out the whole of GL7, which is, or the whole of NP25, which presumably is quite a large area. Because being that they are local magazines.
But then I guess you get smaller postcodes like where we are, where they're only, you know, you'd know your whole town is based on the first 4 letters of your postcode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we might consider. But for us, NP25, that's a point, and we can do that. I'll have a talk to the team if you want. But what we're saying is, if you've got 3 different styles of a gardening article, same something you cannot download all 3. It won't let you.
Mandy?
Somebody would do that, but some people probably would. Just to be damned awkward, but yeah, it wouldn't let you do that. Did somebody ask another question?
Going back to the sort of mechanical uploading, I don't know if you're reading the messages, but I did just ask a question whether there's a way, because I write and design in InDesign as I go along and sort of change things, but I know my artwork is absolutely fine in terms of bleed and trim and crop marks. Is there a way I can just literally batch upload every page at one time?
No, and I tell you why you can't do that is because if you go into the way Mag Manager works is when we upload artwork, we're uploading onto a client. So the artwork belongs to that client. So that's why you need to upload each one. The only way you might want to do that, and we get people to do that all the time, is if they're not using the flat planning tool and all they want to do is just create a electronic version of their magazine. Yeah. And you can do it if you want to do that.
That probably is what I would use it for, really. Yeah.
You can do that, and the way you do that is click on, like Danny's saying, upload to PDF.
Yeah. But will links still work in that?
Will all the links still work in there? What do you mean by links? So
if someone is going through an online flipping book and they can actually use the links on pages.
Websites and the...
Oh no! So the only way that we can get let's create one. Let's create one. We'll show you now. We'll show you. We've got this now. No, hang on. Before we do this, let's quickly do the index, and we'll create the print ready PDF. The flip book. Yeah, let's do the index on here. Okay, we'll have to take that one off. Yeah, let's take that one off. Drag it to the side, and we'll create an index. So we're just going to create the index.
Advertise index.
Can I just ask one other quick question? Then, if you're uploading a double page spread and you put it in as a double page spread, do you have to upload it as 2 separate PDFs?
No. No. No, you don't.
You make it a double page spread PDF?
Yes.
Fine.
So we're just going to quickly create what it's done here is it's created all the sections. We won't go through each one of these because we haven't got time now, but what it's done here is it's copied what we did in our last flat plan, our last index. It's taken, I know what you did in your last index. I'm assuming you want to do exactly the same thing. So it's kept all my system settings from my previous one. We're going to select a page that we want to be off our index, which is in this case, page 22. And then we're going to create it, and then we're going to just generate the PDF. Hang on, we got to put background page on.
So click on page 22. We want our index background on there, index master,
and then save that.
Save it.
And then we'll go back, and then generate the PDF. And this is creating our directory now. So it's created our back directory. yeah, it's, you know, quite basic. You might want to play around with this one. You might want to
create breaks on there so that
it makes it look pretty or whatever. But we're in for this example. We're gonna go with that. But you'll see what we generally do on ours is something like this. Yeah. So that's what I normally looks like this one. Yeah.
What would happen if you haven't got anybody? If you've not selected a category for your index for your advertiser, if you've omitted to do that? Would they appear still or not?
Yeah, just one long list.
Well, and if some of them are being selected and some haven't, what would happen then?
It would show you the ones that need fixing.
Yeah, the ones that aren't selected will be at the top, and then all the ones in groups will be at the bottom.
So, you know,
random.
Do you have to select font size? So what if you've got, so if you select a font size and then there's too many, you know, to fit or something like that? If your font's too big, what would it look like on your, you know, on the preview thing?
Okay, so
would it just be missed?
So if I increase the font size on this one, say to 30, yeah, and height space, and do some fiddling around with it. So if we change this 30, all right, and then 20. Okay, and then generate PDF. And it's just kind of brought it down a bit, changes. So you could just play around with it, really.
So it's just, yeah, would it tell you if there was some missing? That's what I'm a bit worried about. So say you've got some missing, would you know?
Yes, you would. Okay, we'll take.
Just to let you know, what happens is if you try and put a font in that's too big or you've got too many things, it will look not very nice. It will put them all on there, but it won't be a balanced column. So what you have to do is you just have to tweak the numbers to get the balance right.
Yeah, you do have to play around with your index. Not everyone's will be exactly the same. Like with our mono voice, we have to, because we have more advertisers in that one, because it's a bigger publication, we do go slightly smaller on the font compared to Chester and Ross.
Yeah, I'm happy to play around with it. I was just concerned that I might have thought I've created it successfully and then, but actually I've missed a whole, you know, group of.
What I do, sorry to interject, what I do, because we can have like 180 adverts in our magazine, and this saves us hours of creating the index, hours of checking. It probably saves about 4 or 5 hours. But what I do, because we have ours in a half page, we don't have it on a full page, it's very small, it's just an index. I export it as text, and then I play around with it in Excel and Word, and then I copy and paste it into a Coral file, which is what we use to design.
Okay.
Saves me hours.
Okay, great, yeah. It just depends what you want to do. We use this because it just saves, nobody wants to do indexes, you know? Nobody wants to do an index. Yeah. We have to have an argument who's going to do the content, let alone the index.
I'm going to have a play with this now because I'm thinking that I might be able to achieve it just by using this. So
what we'll do now is that we'll just create, we'll quickly, because I'm mindful of the time, so we just create a digital version.
Can I quickly ask, Mandy, can you upload fonts if you don't have the font that we use in your database?
Yeah. Can you upload fonts, did you say?
Yeah.
I don't think you can. Should create AutoPublish.
Okay.
Right, so we're going to auto-publish this, and we're just going to, just create it? No, we want to create our digital version. Flipbook. Yeah, we're going to create a flipbook. Should we do preview with trim first? Yeah. We'll do a preview with trim, quickly create it and show you what it looks like. This is the fixed one. One or two at the bottom. It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, it doesn't. We're fine now. Wait for Ninja.
Mandy, I've got a quick question. If you had a page and it had a quarter-page advert on, but that was the only advert on the page, and you wanted to effectively wrap an editorial around that advert, have you got a way of doing that, or would you have to create a whole page and then just add it as an override?
what you would do, you set the quarter page on the flat plan, and then you can put and override it on a page. But what will happen is the advert will look a bit, and you'll have to move it around, won't you? Yeah, it becomes quite complex, and you can do some really clever things. Yeah. And I know we did that on Raj's flat plan last. I don't know if Raj is Mason. Mason, you still on? Oh no, he's not. Maybe Raj.
Mason. Still here.
Hi, Mason. We were talking about where we had, and I know we had this on your flat plan, where you do an override, and you had an advert that wasn't quite fitting on the page, and you can move it around, can't you, Mason?
Yes, you hit the edit button. You can move it either with the numbers on the side or manually move it. But obviously, you do run the risk of it not aligning up properly.
Yeah, so you can do an override effectively of making it fit onto the page. So you create a page, you've got your advert in the background, and the advert then sits on top of it, and you can just move it slightly around to make it fit, can't you, Mason?
That was a really good fix last month, Mandy. Thank you for that. That was worked really well for us.
Good. I know, because I know we had a problem on one of your different advert sizes, and there was one space that we just needed to move up a bit, didn't we, Raj? Yes. Okay.
Sorry, yes, absolutely. I was on mute. Yes, absolutely. No, well done. Thank you for that. It really fixed the problem for us very quickly. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So now we've created this. Now we're going to create our flipbook.
Yeah. So this you just then run through, check everything's okay.
Yeah. We would do a run through, check to make sure we're happy with it, and then we're going to.
So when you do contents, is that the very last thing you do then? When you know where everything is, and you create that as a piece of artwork?
Yes, we do. We do. Yeah. We generally do the content. What we tend to do is get all our editorial pages in. Yeah. So we might say, right, designers, get all our editorial pages. We know we're going to sit there. Let's do the contents.
Yeah. It creates you a content index, though, doesn't it? You just need to manipulate it into your own thing. We found that quite useful because you can switch things off you don't want in it as well. It puts quite a lot, like useful telephone numbers, all sorts in it, but we've learned to try and manipulate that, but that's really good as well.
Mandy, the index works really well in all of our 14 magazines for us every month. We hardly make any changes to it. If you set it up right in the first place, then you don't even have to check it. I check every one, but you don't have to, because 9 times out of 10 it's user error if the index is wrong, not because Mag Manager's wrong.
Yeah. And I don't know if I should say this, but we also can, if ever when we start all getting a lot busier, we can create double page indexes as well.
We can. So that'll be good for Farmer.
That one. We can create double page indexes.
Yeah.
Right. But I tell you what, the indexes are good, and the reason why they are good and they work is because Ross designed the indexes, and he always had to do our indexes for Monovoice, and it was one of his worst jobs, and he hated it. So the index is good because it meant that he didn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this. So we created our print. Have we created it?
So what you got to click on is preview, and then
that's it. And then when we were talking, somebody asked me about links. Yeah. So we've got, like, for example, Slimming World. If Claire's helping, if we went there, then we could go to Slimming World, and we're going to. And if they had social media links, it would show up on there as well. And the way that works, it only works if you auto-publish. So if I was just going to upload a file, a PDF file, which I can do, and create a flip book, and you don't have to pay anything extra for this, you don't have to use any other software other than Mag Manager, and it comes free with Mag Manager, that's fine. But if you don't auto-publish, you don't get these links.
Yeah.
So if you're auto-publishing, you'll get their Facebook links if there's in there, because what that is doing, it's going to quickly look at your client information in Mag Manager and think, great, it's up to date. Oh, right, I know Slimming World, she's got a link to a website, click on that, yeah?
Yeah, and if they've got more than one social media.
So if you've got more than one, it'll come up with here, their website or their Facebook. Yeah? Close it.
No. And the way you've got to do that is going directly onto the client itself.
The client. Yeah.
And then just put HTTP on there, else it won't work.
I think So is there any more questions? I know we kind of whizzed through, because I'm just mindful it's getting now 10 to 4. We whizzed through the last little bit. We've got loads of notes on this. There is a complex side to AutoPublish, but in general, we set it all up for people. Yeah. But if you wanted to know, and I'm going to do a second session, and a little bit more complex on the complex side of it will be the document templates, the index templates you can do on backgrounds, and also setting up your magazine. And we do things like, let me see if I can find you an example in my magazine. It's just come through the door. We do something like, we sell those as squares, and actually a 6-page advert. And for this, we use just a different template rather than the general one with the 16-page one. Yeah.
When will you be able to do that? We can do it quite soon while this is fresh in heads.
I think so. I think Andrea, I want to do that next week. I would have done it tomorrow, but I don't think that's fair on a lot of people who want to attend Raj's conference.
Oh yeah. But if I just meant while we remember some of the bits of today's, it'll make sense.
So if I do that next week, if we do that on the Thursday afternoon again next week, and we just do the follow-up one, if that's all right with people, and we'll do a follow-up session. And again, if anybody's got any questions you want to raise that haven't been able to put to us, have a think, again, raise those for next week, and we can go over a more complex AutoPublish.
Will you do one in future? Because I think I need to master the basic stuff first before, will you be holding these in future?
Yeah, we'll do another one if you want another one. If you want more of these, we're happy to do them.
Yeah, we can repeat training.
Yeah.
I've got a quick question.
Yes.
I've been using Issues so far for my online magazine, and I quite like the fact that you can have a page where you've got a sort of nice gallery of all your front pages, and you've got all the back issues there. Does Mag Manager enable you to see back issues?
I don't think it does. It does if you It does if you want to put it on your website yourself. But actually, what it's using, the digital Mag Manager, no, it doesn't.
And do you get the capability of having a link for a particular page to enable somebody to share a page to a particular article?
Yes, you can. Can you see that at the top, Nikki?
Oh, okay, just / page number, same as on Issue then. Yeah. And the other thing I use Issue for is it now enables you to do slightly reworked digital story versions of editorial, which is more sort of mobile friendly. Is that anything?
Yeah, can you share that with us, and we can have a look at that? Nikki, could you send us an email with some details on that? Even if it's an example of your magazine on it, it would be really good.
Sure, okay.
Andy, sorry.
Sorry, Raj. The other question I had, and perhaps this is something you're covering next week, is to do with the index. I don't use your index facility at the moment because I've got a right mishmash of sections and category titles. And sometimes if I have a new plumber, there's 6 or 7 different ways of, naming that plumber in terms of what category. So how do I know if I go into the settings which categories are safe to delete that haven't been used? Is there a way of tidying it all up that doesn't waste my brain?
We can run you a query on your account if you want, and any sections that are no longer or aren't used, and we can find that out.
Because I think all these categories are somebody else's, not mine.
We can run a query, and then we can, anything that you don't use, we can take off, can't we?
Mandy helped me with my index because I've got quite a few advertisers that like to be put under, they might be plumbing, also electrician and home improvements, and they're adamant in my index before Mag Manager they wanted to be referenced in different categories. So we set a trades category up in the index and put the most common ones, and it allows you then to list them really easy in Mag Manager in multiple sections, and they appear automatically now in the indexes. And it was a headache to get my head around it at the start, but now once it's set up there in the categories, it's made it so much easier.
I think I spent probably
I'm sorry
a whole day just doing Andrea's sections.
I just have I have advertisers that, if I suddenly didn't allow that to have happened with certain ones, it just would have been a nightmare. So Some people never get into
Mandy,
choice, and I wish I hadn't, but
Mandy, it is all about organising your categories and your subcategories in order to get your index correct. And because we've set it up correctly in the first place, it still works very well. But I understand Andrea's point there as well. Going back to what Nikki was saying, if any of you or Nikki want to go to my website, localdirectoryltd.co.uk, and just look at our magazines, all of them have got Mag Manager digital links on there for all 14 magazines. So you can see how we set it up on one page and literally how Mandy's Mag Manager digital pages. You don't have to pay issue anything. It's all included in Mag Manager's fee. And you can easily see the pages flip over. Maybe some of these other features Nikki was talking about may not be on there, but it's good enough for me. And that's where you could also then put your back issues, if you wanted to, on your website in that way. And that works very much well for us, because we used to use issue before and it just didn't quite do it for us. That's why we changed over to that Mag Manager the digital way when Mandy introduced that maybe a year ago or so. So if you want to have a look, you can see that example on my site for any of you want to have a look. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Raj.
Okay, right. Okay, so any other questions? And like I said, we'll do a follow-up next Thursday.
Yeah.
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 We'll do a follow-up and then we'll do stage 2, which will be a bit more, and you can see why we only do one set of it, and then we can do a bit more detail behind the scenes, and we can set up some templates and show how those work.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, man. Mandy, can I also just say that if anyone does want to join me tomorrow, contact me 2 o'clock tomorrow, conference online as well. And thanks for not clashing. We try to avoid each other and try not to clash on our events.
That's why, because I knew we needed to follow up, and I thought I can't do that tomorrow because that's Raj.
That's very good of you. And it's good, and I'm always aware when you're doing them as well, so it's good that we don't clash. But if anyone wants to join us tomorrow, just contact me. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Do you want to see anyone? Yes.